calling their friends like, bro, you gotta watch this shit. This is nuts.
Toe-to-toe they go. Oh, and a left jab. Right hand by Bonner. Listen to this crowd.
This was the most important fight in the history of this cup.
I want to thank you guys so much. Hey, what the hell? What? Are you kidding me? You know, I say weird and insensitive things, not to be mean, just, I don't know, because I'm bizarre.
It's like rape is the new missionary. You don't tweet stuff like that where you can't explain yourself immediately.
I mean, you look like you're shocked.
Who gave you the advice to net a nick? That was uncalled for. Do you know how many of my ancestors have been hit with nets by white motherfuckers look like you?
And then in retrospect, I was like, what the hell were you doing, man?
Then you thought about it. Damn, like, I just did it.
It's a bad look.
Hold on, bro. What is going on, bro? I thank y'all for requesting Forrest Griffin. Y'all some real trial suggestions, man. Hit that notification bell button. You know what I'm saying? Check the playlist, bro. But we here, bro.
If you're into the stories behind the fighters and the moments that shape the fight game,
nigga with
hit
a
that
net.
like button
Shot the
and
flashback
subscribe.
MMA. Y'all
Now,
already
let's
know,
step
man.
into the world of Forrest Griffin. Born on July 1st, 1979 in Columbus, Ohio, Forrest Griffin moved with his family to Georgia at a young age.
Born in Ohio, right? Grew up in Georgia. Were you always into martial arts? Or
No,
what was your...
no, I was into sports. Football, basketball, and occasionally track. I fought a couple kids that did martial arts, and I beat them up, and I figured that shit don't work.
And attended Evans High School near Augusta.
Here's the other thing, too. When I was 14, I was, like, older from my class, and I was 6'1", 185.
Jesus. As a freshman in high school?
Yeah. So, like, I had chest hair. When there was a fight, you know, my group, I was always the guy that had to fight, because I was the big goofy dude.
And went on to earn a bachelor's degree in political science from the University of Georgia. Even while pursuing academics, Griffin was drawn to physical challenges. He trained in martial arts during college.
I saw MMA, I want to say 95 in shop class. We locked our teacher out and I ran to the UFC.
And we watched it, like, while the shop teacher's, like, outside, like, trying to get in the class. We watched the UFC, and I thought it looked stupid. Yeah.
See a fat guy in pajamas, doing this, and I was like, what the fuck? And then 1999, I saw it again. It was Randy Couture, Vitor Belfort. And I said, shit, man, that's a sport. I thought, that looks fun. I bet I could do that. And so I found some guys that were doing that, and I went and I got my ass kicked.
Forrest Griffin trained at the Hardcore Gym in Athens, Georgia, under the guidance of Rory and Adam Singer.
Once I got into it, I started rolling with black belts, and they would fuck me up. So I thought, I'll be a black belt.
He also became an EMT during this time to earn money while pursuing his fighting career.
I went to be an EMT at a job fair.
Those situations didn't really bother me.
EMT was 26 weeks. You get paid in like 30 weeks. I've run out of money.
Working alongside his duties as a law enforcement officer in Richmond County and as a campus police officer at UGA.
And they were like, you want to be a cop? I was like, yeah, sure. If you can pass this and this. And one of them was a physical, and I was like, yeah, I can do that. You get paid in 3 weeks. So UGA first for a couple years.
And that's when I started fighting.
During this time, he also began his professional fighting career.
I've done 3 tournaments before, like you fight twice in the same day. I guess they're amateur. I didn't really know the difference, but I got paid for them. But it was one of those deals, only you had to win the tournament to get paid.
And there wasn't any accident insurance or anything like that. You know, I never thought I could be like a millionaire and famous from fighting. I just thought, like, I bet I could do this for 3-4 years, make more money than I would as a cop, and then I can go back to it.
So I had about 8 minutes of total fight time under my belt when I fought Dan Severn.
His very first professional fight in 2001 was a loss to MMA legend Dan Severn.
How'd it go with Dan Severn?
He beat me up, and then he kind of laid on me, and then I was like so pathetic, I started making fun of him, saying like, you look thinner on TV, like shit like that.
But the experience only strengthened his resolve. By the early 2000s,
Bro, who put him in a fight against Dan Severn, bro? Who did that?
Griffin had compiled a respectable record on the regional MMA circuit.
Did you start taking fights when you were in school, or was it after?
Well, I was in school forever. I didn't graduate till 2004. I started college in 97.
Oh, okay.
What a run, dude. Lots of people go to school for 8 years.
7 years.
State of Georgia paid for it for like 3 years.
Oh, because you're a cop?
Well, no, we had Hope Scholarship.
Oh.
Even beating notable veterans like Jeff Monson and Chael Sonnen.
He's got it in.
What he beat Chael Sonnen?
It's over.
Yeah, there's no pressure. There was nothing, you know? It was really fun.
He be young, Chael.
The cool thing about all those fights, like even the fight with Severn, is I was working. I worked nights, and I would have class. I was a cop. I was a bouncer. I was a DJ. Like, I was side hustling. I worked security.
Griffin was a gritty everyman who balanced being a police officer with chasing a dream in mixed martial arts.
Just trying to fight $500, $600, $800 here and there. Living on my coach's living room on a mattress. We had like what we called the hardcore dorm, which was 3 bedrooms with 5 or 6 people living in it. I got staff there once.
I'm sure you did.
No shock.
Setting the stage for the dramatic turn his life would soon take. One story from Griffin's early training years highlights his grit. In a regional fight, he suffered a broken arm from a kick but refused to quit, pressing forward to score a knockout victory. The injury left a permanent lump on his forearm.
That November, I broke my arm, and I was like, fuck this, I'm done. You know, uninsured, break your arm. I needed a plate, but I couldn't get the surgery because they won't do surgery for free at all.
A lasting reminder of his toughness. In 2004, on the verge of giving up MMA for steady police work, Forrest Griffin got a life-changing call.
I got a weird call from my buddy Frank Bishop from Underground who said, hey, Joe Silva? Yeah. I was like, I think it's really him. You want me to give him? I was like, yeah. And so I'm working as a cop in Richmond County. And yeah, the whole thing was I worked there like 11 months. If you haven't worked there for more than a year, you're not eligible for rehire. I'd spent 2 years pretty much being like homeless, you know, like living around from person to person, you know. It's just like life is not great right now.
Yeah. UFC President Dana White persuaded Griffin to join a new reality TV competition called The Ultimate Fighter, a risky move that meant leaving his police job behind.
Forrest Griffin was supposed to fly out and start filming. He didn't get on his flight.
I was sitting there at the airport. I mean, I guess I was afraid to fail. I mean, I didn't want to come out to Vegas, quit my job, and get my ass beat and end up with nothing.
He started questioning his life and thinking, I think I want to give up this dream, and I want the white picket fence and the house, steady job. So I called him up and I gave him my pitch, man, on why he needs to get on that plane and why this is going to change his life and why this is going to be so big. For whatever reason, he believed me and got on that plane and came.
I was like, Randy and Chuck are going to be coaches. And I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to learn from them. I was like, what did they do?
Griffin agreed, entering the tough season one house in Las Vegas in early 2005.
I was a last-minute replacement for McDonald, the Canadian.
Oh, Jason.
He failed like a health test or a test for weed or something stupid like that. So I didn't audition, I didn't try out, I didn't tell any, like I didn't ask to do it.
They were $44 million in debt. They were like, what are we doing? We're going to sell this? We're going to keep it? They were calling Dana up going, look for a buyer. Let's find a buyer. We got to get out of this. Like, we're not going to lose our family's fortune. We're $44 million in the hole in this cage fighting shit. Obviously, this is too brutal for America. They're not really into it.
Forrest's personality was perfect for the reality show. Very funny, yet a very tough guy who took the sport seriously and worked hard.
He battled his way through the show's tournament, earning a spot in the live finale against Stephen Bonner. On April 9th, 2005, Griffin and Bonner engaged in an epic blood and guts brawl that left both men exhausted and the audience enthralled.
Actually, we watched that fight.
We have no deal.
That was a
for
great
season
fight.
2. The undercard fights happen and they're not that great. So we're going into the main event, Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner. These two come in and just go to war.
Stephen Bonner staying in the pocket. Bonner teeing off. Rocked though, he is rocked. Comes over the top. Stays in there.
These two crazy fucks are beating the shit out of each other, and it is a wild melee of a fight.
Uppercut just missed. Toe to toe they go. Oh, and a left jab. Right hand by Bonner. Listen to this crowd.
And the viewership just keeps going up during the fight. Millions and millions of people watched during the fight, like tuned in, extra people tuned in, because people were calling their friends like, bro, you gotta watch this shit. This is nuts.
Did you guys have any idea in that moment how impactful like that was?
Well, you could feel the stomping in the cage.
Griffin won the fight by unanimous decision, earning a 6-figure UFC contract and nationwide acclaim. Dana White later hailed this slugfest as the most important fight in UFC history, crediting it with catapulting the UFC into the mainstream.
When the fight's over, guys from Spike TV literally went out in the alley and cut a new deal with us. In that place, at that time, and the way that these two fought, it was the most important fight in the history of the sport.
During that fight, did you guys know what was going on? Did you know you were saving the UFC?
Got that deal cut.
We heard like later that night. Yeah.
Indeed, the Griffin-Bonner finale is widely regarded as the fight that saved the UFC.
Damn, 44 million dead? Ooh, I would have asked for, hey man, look, we just say the UFC, man, can I get at least 10?
Drawing countless new fans to the sport.
And they figured it out. That Ultimate Fighter show, they financed the whole show, paid for all of it, paid to be on the network. And then boom, that one final fight with Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner.
Forrest Griffin, the humble ex-cop with a toothy grin, had suddenly become a household name in MMA. The bout was even voted the #1 fight in UFC history during a 2009 fan poll, underlining its significance.
I love to fight like that, man. I like to just swing for the fences and see what happens. And you know, I thought that was a good fight, and that's what I'm about.
Well, congratulations on an amazing amazing performance. Welcome to the UFC, Forrest Griffin, ladies and gentlemen.
Griffin's underdog story and willingness to pour his heart out in the octagon made him an instant fan favorite, embodying the show's mantra that anyone with enough heart could become a star.
That was the moment my life changed forever, and I was like, oh, I'm a professional fighter now.
You don't have to be a cop anymore.
Yeah.
We had to give you your flowers and your respect now. It's because of you and Stephen Bonner, the guys like me and other fighters have the opportunity to have a job because
That's very cool, very kind.
Riding the momentum from The Ultimate Fighter, Griffin transitioned into a full-time UFC
give me flowers
fighter.
while you're here,
He
man.
proved that his finale win was no fluke by defeating veteran Bill Mahood via rear naked choke and stopping Elvis Sanosic with strikes a few months later.
Elvis Sanosic.
These victories set up a high-profile matchup with former light heavyweight champion Tito Ortiz in
Tito.
April 2006. Griffin faced Ortiz at UFC 59 and lost a razor-close split decision that many observers found controversial. Despite the loss, Griffin's gutsy performance against a legend earned him respect and his first fight of the night bonus for the thrilling bout. He rebounded in August 2006 with a rematch against his old rival Stephen Bonner at UFC 62.
They are on their feet. Here's the Mandalay Bay Event Center.
Where Griffin won a clear unanimous decision to solidify that he was the superior fighter in their second meeting. However, Griffin's climb was not without setbacks. In December 2006, he was matched with rising contender Keith Jardine. In that fight, Griffin suffered a brutal first-round TKO loss at UFC 66.
Forrest is down to the ground. He's going to try to work inside. Big right hand by Keith Jardine. Jardine coming over the top.
Oh, he's asleep. He's asleep.
This fight is over. Keith Jardine has defeated Forrest Griffin.
And was so overcome with emotion that he left the cage in tears before the post-fight interview was finished.
Tears?
Devastated Forrest Griffin, and Forrest is beside himself. I know you're devastated. I saw you drop down after the fight in anguish.
I mean, Keith came in, he did exactly what I wanted to do, and he knocked me out. Let's go home.
It was a rare display of vulnerability in the world of MMA, one that showed how passionately Griffin took both victory and defeat. Early 2007 brought more challenges when Griffin caught a serious staph infection that forced him out of a scheduled fight with Lyoto Machida.
When I had staph, I ended up being on antibiotics for 5 weeks straight, which will also drain the shit out of you. The mistake I made is I used to like throw a little bleach in the bathtub and wipe myself down with bleach. Yeah, you destroy the top layers of skin, so you actually make yourself more susceptible to those skin-borne illnesses.
After recovering, he returned to action in June 2007 at UFC 72, where he won a unanimous decision over Hector.
I didn't know you get staph on your knee. What the fuck? Why you even get staph? Like, yo, somebody explain staph infection in the comments. Somebody please run that down for me.
Ramirez. In that bout, Griffin's relentless style was on full display as he landed 38 leg kicks, a UFC record at the time, dominating the fight from start to finish. Griffin's resilience and steady improvement culminated in a breakthrough performance on September 22, 2007. That night at UFC 76, he faced Mauricio Shogun Hua, former Pride champion, widely considered the world's top light heavyweight. Griffin entered as a heavy underdog, but shocked everyone by outworking Shogun and securing a rear naked choke submission in the final seconds of the third round.
20 seconds remain. Deep trouble. Forrest got the rear naked choke. 15 seconds.
He made him tap.
What a performance by Forrest Griffin. Forrest Griffin has pulled off the upset. What an upset. What a fantastic victory for Forrest Griffin.
The upset victory earned Griffin a submission of the night bonus and instantly propelled him into title contention. In the span of 2 years, Forrest Griffin had gone from reality show underdog to a legitimate top-tier fighter in the UFC's 205-pound division. In early 2008, the UFC tapped Griffin to be a coach on the Ultimate Fighter 7, pitting him opposite the reigning light heavyweight champion, Quinton Rampage Jackson. This coaching stint built up anticipation for their showdown.
I bet you our fight don't go to no decision, I bet you. I bet the whole first on it. I'm gonna whoop for his ass.
I stopped like this nigga when he hit me with that fucking net.
Yes,
that was the day I stopped liking
That
him.
wasn't needed.
Yeah, he caught him, dude.
You've been that guy.
Where do you get one of them from?
That was
That was a little uncalled for.
That was
I want one though.
Who gave you the advice to net a nigga?
I think Forrest found it very funny.
Don't move your right foot though.
To net a nigga is crazy.
Am I a fish? Do I look like a fish to you? Do I look like a fish to you? Do I look like an escaped animal from the zoo?
Why would you go and net a human being?
Yeah, that also poses a problem.
How dare you? Man, I'm from the South. This reminds me of something that happened to some of my homeboy.
Do you know how many
Chill
of my
out,
ancestors
man.
have been hit with nets by white motherfuckers look like you?
Probably not a smart move.
I think you owe me some
I
reparations.
apologize on behalf of those people. I'm laughing, but like seriously.
Yeah.
In retrospect, it's a bad look.
It was bad look.
Yeah.
I think your white ass owe me some reparations.
After the season
Damn.
aired, Griffin faced Rampage in the main event of UFC 86 on
Nah,
July
that was
5th,
footage. I ain't gonna lie. I
2008,
won't be
with
in that.
Jackson's title on the line.
I don't
It
know
was
we
a
can get
classic
one of
striker
those.
versus brawler matchup and a test of Griffin's mettle against one of the division's most feared fighters.
Oh, he
in a
dropped him.
thrilling 5-round war, Griffin weathered an early knockdown and utilized a steady barrage of leg kicks and high-paced output to keep Jackson off balance.
But when you hurt my leg in that fight, I healed myself up in between rounds. I had never been leg kicked like that before.
The fight went the distance, and in a stunning result, Griffin won a unanimous decision to become the UFC light heavyweight champion. Many had doubted the former reality show star against Rampage's power, but Griffin proved the naysayers wrong. The victory was named Fight of the Night and even Fight of the Year for 2008, underscoring its high drama. Some commentators argued the decision could have gone the other way.
You just think you beat me in that fight?
I think I do think I beat you in the fight. I do think, because I watched the fight.
Hey, I want to thank you guys so much. Hey, what the hell?
He said, what the hell?
What? Are you kidding me?
But no formal protest was ever filed. With that win, Forrest Griffin reached the pinnacle of the sport, completing his transformation from unknown underdog to world champion. Griffin's first title defense came at UFC 92 in December 2008 against another unbeaten tough fighter, Rashad Evans. Early on, Griffin used his rangy striking to control the fight, but Evans' speed and power turned the tide. In the third round, Evans caught a kick from Griffin and took him down, unleashing punches that forced a TKO stoppage and ended Griffin's reign as champion.
Forrest is in trouble. He's out. And it is all over.
He could have been stopped that fight, man.
UFC light heavyweight champion.
Griffin had broken his hand during the fight.
I broke my hand. And my pal was like, can you still use it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, well, use it.
The loss was disappointing, but
Damn.
Griffin handled it with trademark grit, and the bout earned both men another Fight of the Night bonus for their efforts. By early 2009, Griffin was no longer the champion, yet he remained one of the UFC's biggest stars thanks to his string of crowd-pleasing battles. Losing the belt was a setback, but Griffin's toughest nights in the octagon were still to come. After healing up in 2009, he agreed to face middle-weight champion Anderson Silva in a special light heavyweight bout at UFC 101 in August.
When did he go?
Silva was
The
regarded as
spider.
the top pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and the
Yeah.
matchup proved lopsided. Griffin struggled to find his range and
He
was
was
knocked
nasty.
down multiple times by the elusive Silva.
Look at the hand slow. Yeah, I think he really
Sit
Finally,
down.
Silva ended the fight with a quick counter right hand, knocking Griffin out in the first round. The defeat was so one-sided that a dazed Griffin famously got up and ran out of the cage.
He ran out of the
immediately,
cage
not
is
even waiting for
crazy.
the official decision. Fans and commentators were shocked to see Griffin bolt from the arena, and the incident became an enduring image of his career.
The greatest moment of my life watching a fight was when Anderson Silva kicked your ass. You ran out crying like a little bitch.
I wasn't crying.
Yeah, why he run out like that though? Like, what's up with that? Like, he all pure heart and gritty for sure, but why he run out like? Come on now,
Bolt
Forrest.
from the arena, and the incident became an enduring image of his career.
The greatest moment of my life watching a fight was when Anderson Silva kicked your ass. You ran out crying like a little bitch.
I wasn't crying that time. I ran out before I was crying. I cried with Keith Jardine. That was a rough moment for me.
Years later, Griffin revealed another layer to that story. The day before the fight, anxiety had gotten the better of him, and he took a doctor-prescribed Xanax to sleep, which resulted in a positive drug test in Pennsylvania. The failed test earned him a 30-day suspension.
I'm about to say
a minor
Xanax,
infraction,
I mean,
but one
like,
that added to the turmoil
what would
surrounding
that
the
help?
fight.
I actually failed my drug test, I think, for Xanax, which I had a doctor prescription. It was not, I didn't do it before the fight. No, I did it the night before because I was nervous and I couldn't sleep.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't think anyone knows that.
Griffin would quip that he
Xanax.
appeared to be stoned in the cage, humorously downplaying the incident. But in truth, it was a humbling chapter for the former
Yeah,
champ.
it was
True to
humbling, my
form,
brother.
Griffin rebounded from the Silva loss by returning to his bread and butter, hard-fought decision wins. In November 2009, he faced off with Tito Ortiz for a second time at UFC 106. Ortiz was a former champion and big personality, but Griffin managed to edge him out in a close split decision, avenging his earlier loss. This victory re-established Griffin's standing, closing out 2009 on a positive note. Unfortunately, injuries plagued him in 2010. A shoulder problem kept him out of several potential fights.
I destroyed my shoulder.
I already hadn't had a shoulder since 2007, so no shoulder, no knee.
In February 2011, after over a year away from fighting, Griffin returned at UFC 126 to take on former champion Rich Franklin. Forrest showed he was still a force in the division by using his size and grappling to control Franklin, winning a unanimous decision. It was a workmanlike win that demonstrated Griffin's evolution into a more tactical fighter. Later that year, however, Griffin encountered an old foe in a new setting. He faced Mauricio Shogun Rua in a rematch at UFC 134 in August 2011, held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This time, Shogun got his revenge in emphatic fashion, knocking Griffin out with punches on the ground in the very first round.
Shogun with the big hammer fist. It is all over.
Griffin looked unusually flat.
He was in
that
Brazil.
night, and it was later known that his mind was elsewhere. His wife was unexpectedly going into labor back home as the fight took place, causing Griffin to catch the next flight out of Brazil immediately after the loss.
I'm in the locker room getting ready, and she's saying, hey, babe, just so you know, me and my buddy, we might be going to the hospital, you know. She's in Vegas. I'm in Brazil. So, you know, I get my ass whooped promptly. Thank goodness I have my passport on me. So I didn't even shower. I get on the plane, and Dana leaves immediately. I come back, take a shower, I get my stuff, and then we go to the house, you know. So, yeah.
Despite the setback, that personal context earned Griffin some sympathy, as he and his wife welcomed their daughter in September 2011, shortly after the fight. By 2012, with a young family and a body that had endured a decade of wars, Griffin was openly contemplating the end of his fighting career. He had one last bout left in him, a rubber match against Tito Ortiz. Ortiz announced that this fight would be his retirement, making it a sentimental finale for a pioneer of the sport.
You have said if you can't beat Tito
I ain't watched
Ortiz,
Tito yet, which is
you will
crazy.
retire from life.
I don't like you. I ain't answering your question, and Dana ain't here to save you, so next question.
The two veterans collided at UFC 148 in July 2012. In a gritty, back-and-forth battle, Griffin won a unanimous decision, officially going 2-1 against Ortiz in their trilogy. However, the fight is often remembered less for the action and more for what happened afterward. Moments after the final bell, Griffin inexplicably walked out of the cage again, perhaps thinking he had lost and wanting to escape criticism.
We've seen that before. What is he doing? Dana White is running after him. Forrest has left the building.
Before being corralled to return for the decision.
I just forget sometimes. I get, emotional guy. I was frustrated with myself. But when I crossed, Dana White was yelling at me to get the F back in the cage.
And Forrest is coming back into the octagon.
Forrest Griffin! What are you doing? It's like professional suicide. You leave the octagon before the decision is called in the fight that you want. Are you out of your mind?
Then, in an unprecedented move, an adrenaline-fueled Griffin grabbed the microphone from Joe Rogan and began interviewing Tito Ortiz himself in the octagon. He asked Ortiz jokey questions about retirement and the Hall of Fame, which didn't sit well with the crowd or Ortiz.
Was that really your last fight in the octagon?
Yeah. I gave it my all, man. You're a fucking great fighter. I don't know. I came in here, two people in her. One last man lives the winner.
Damn.
So much.
It was an awkward, if somewhat comic postscript to Ortiz's swan song.
Get your hand raised or Tito's hand raised. Do your interview and go. If you're bummed out, do it in the back. And if you're bucking for Joe Rogan's fucking job, it isn't going to happen. That's Joe's job. Leave the microphone alone until Joe comes over and talks to you.
Griffin later apologized publicly for stealing Tito's moment.
What's wrong with Forrest,
man? With his own performance.
Yo, Forrest is a wild boy.
And wasn't thinking clearly.
We kind of heard Dana's reaction to Forrest grabbing the mic, but I'd like to know yours. I'm sure that you've kind of envisioned
That was bullshit.
your final moments.
Come on, dude. You understand, 15 years ago, May 30th, 1997, Joe Rogan was the first person to interview me.
I sincerely apologize. I honestly wasn't thinking. I could see you guys have a ton of history. I apologize. I wish I could take that back, I'm sorry.
This incident, coupled with Griffin's earlier cage escape in the Silva fight, underscored that his nerves and passion could still get the better of him, even as a seasoned veteran. UFC President Dana White privately encouraged Griffin to consider retiring around this time, sensing that Forrest's mind and body were starting to stray from peak form.
You've done your thing, man. Nothing left for Forrest to prove either. He won the Ultimate Fighter. He's had an amazing career. He won the title when people thought he couldn't. He became a huge star. He made shitloads of money. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got a baby. It's just, if you don't want to be a world champion and you're still not in the mix, like I call it, why? What's the point?
Griffin admitted that fighting had become more of a job than a passion, and by 2011, he openly said he was mostly doing it to provide for his family.
I had a couple losses where I realized that I was never going back to the top.
Not long after UFC 148, Forrest Griffin decided to hang up his gloves for good. Lingering injuries, including chronic issues with his shoulder and knee, made training and fighting an increasing struggle. On May 26, 2013, Griffin announced his retirement from MMA, concluding an illustrious career.
I would like to say a few words about a gentleman who has meant a great deal to this company. His charisma, his personality, his fighting style has helped elevate the UFC and mixed martial arts to where we are today. Tonight we are going to announce his retirement. He is staying with the UFC. He will have some role, some title. He will be here and he will stay with this company at least for the rest of my life.
Thank you guys very much. The biggest thing I've learned is that when Dana White says retire, you should retire. Thank you guys.
In a show of respect, the UFC immediately revealed that Forrest Griffin would be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. And fittingly, he went in alongside Stephan Bonnar in July 2013 during the UFC's Fan Expo. It was a full circle moment. The two men whose ferocious battle had launched a new era for the UFC now took their place in its Hall of Fame together.
This was the most important fight in the history of this company. We were $44 million in the hole into this business. This fight was so small, it was at the Cox Pavilion. During 6 minutes of that fight, 12 million people tuned in. For 6 minutes of that fight. You know how crazy that is? You know what insane numbers those are? It's my honor to induct you into the UFC Hall of Fame. Congratulations, boys.
Griffin left active competition with a professional record of 19 wins and 7 losses, a UFC championship belt, and a legacy as one of the sport's true game changers. Throughout his career, Forrest Griffin became known as a personable, funny, and candid figure, but his humor and impulsive nature sometimes led to controversy.
Yeah.
One infamous episode occurred in late 2011.
You know how he looked like
outside
a...
of the cage.
I'm gonna
In
leave it
November
alone,
of that
bro.
year, during the emotional height of the Penn State sexual abuse scandal, Griffin posted a
Penn State sexual abuse.
Twitter comment that read, "Rape is the new missionary," a crude attempt at dark humor that immediately sparked outrage.
He was saying, as he turned on the TV that morning, there was a story about Penn State. He literally changed to another news. There was another story. And then the third channel he went to, there was another story about rape. I mean, it's everywhere. It's all over television. It's like rape is the new missionary. It's all over the place.
Fans and media alike condemned the tweet as insensitive. Griffin swiftly deleted the
Yo, you gotta put context of it. Bro, especially when something going on like that, you gotta put context to that, bro. Y'all, come on, man. You gotta know that for us.
message, but the damage was done, and he found himself under heavy criticism. Humbled, he issued an apology and took steps to make amends. Griffin visited the Las Vegas Rape Crisis Center, met with its director, and donated some of his own money as a gesture of contrition. He admitted that he likes to joke around and stir the pot, but realized he had crossed a line and felt genuinely disgusted with himself. UFC President Dana White defended Griffin as not being a bad person, even suggesting the remark was misunderstood, but acknowledged it was a foolish thing to say.
Forrest was so upset that this thing happened. He was all over it on his own and tried to make it better. Forrest Griffin is a good guy.
In the end, Griffin's quick apology and charitable outreach helped quell the backlash, and he avoided any official punishment from the UFC. Nonetheless, fans largely forgave Griffin's missteps. His legacy and likability earned him what one writer called a perpetual get-out-of-jail-free card. People found it hard to stay mad at Forrest Griffin for long. These controversies were real, but they did little to tarnish the public's overall affection for the former champ. In many ways, they simply humanized a fighter who had always come across as a relatable, flawed, and genuine person. In retirement, Griffin remained a popular ambassador of the sport. When Forrest Griffin stepped away from competition, the UFC quickly found a new role for the former champion. Griffin moved to Las Vegas and became an integral part of the UFC staff, eventually being named the Vice President of Athlete Development at the UFC Performance Institute. In this capacity, he helps train and mentor up-and-coming fighters, sharing the wealth of experience he accumulated over his career.
I'm Forrest Griffin, VP of Athlete Development at the UFC Performance Institute. And one of the things I get to do is to make sure that everything we do here works to actually make the athlete better in the octagon.
He also frequently appears at UFC fan expos, signs autographs, and represents the organization at public events, essentially serving as a goodwill ambassador for MMA.
And he is one of the guys who has been one of the building blocks in the sport and in this company.
Outside the UFC offices, Griffin kept busy with other ventures. He had already shown a talent for storytelling and humor by authoring 2 books during his fighting days. These books not only provided entertainment to fans, but also cemented Griffin's reputation as one of the sport's most approachable and funny personalities. Additionally, he dabbled in media and entertainment. He had cameos in a few films, and even appeared on a 2012 episode of Law & Order. Griffin's name also lives on in the annual Forrest Griffin Community Award, a UFC honor named after him that recognizes charitable work by fighters.
There's this charity in Las Vegas called Foursquare. There's something like 580,000 kids that don't eat every day. Like when they go to school, the only meal they eat that day is school food. So when Friday comes, they don't eat again till Monday. And I said, you guys know a guy named Forrest Griffin? Yeah. He used to come in there and he would put on a hat and everything and go in the back and start cooking and stuffing boxes and making food, and he would work there all day. Then when he left, he would write a check. And they told us that about Forrest. We didn't even know that.
Today, Forrest Griffin's legacy...
A real one, bro. He just made goofy decisions, man. Hey, bro. Made goofy decisions, but bro... You can tell he a good guy, though, man. You can tell Forrest a good guy.
Secure. He is often mentioned in the same breath as legends of the sport, not because of a long title reign or flashy knockouts, but because of the impact he had on bringing MMA into the mainstream. The UFC's remarkable boom in popularity in the mid-2000s can be traced back to the night of Griffin versus Bonner. Griffin was never the most physically gifted athlete in the cage, but he compensated with heart, durability, and an uncanny ability to thrill audiences. He accumulated 5 Fight of the Night bonuses in his UFC run. Even in defeat,
crazy.
Fans knew Forrest would leave it all in the cage, which made him must-watch TV for years. As an everyman figure who started as a rookie on a reality show, Griffin inspired a generation of fighters to believe that with enough determination, they too could make it to the top. He remains a beloved figure in MMA, and his story will be told in the annals of UFC history for decades to come.
Yeah, he probably
Forrest Griffin is a very hard worker. He digs in and he grinds and he does a lot of good things for a lot of people. What's crazy is the thing that he thought was an impossible dream ended up becoming his white picket fence, stability, and everything that he ever wanted. So he got it all. He has a beautiful wife. He has a beautiful daughter. It couldn't have worked out better for him.
So much work being me.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it 100, bro. That's a great life. You thought you was about to be a police officer, turn out you an MMA fighter? I mean, that's a great life, man. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about Forrest, though. And let me know where y'all got Forrest ranked at, man. Forrest is cool, bro. I like Forrest. He was just goofy. He just goofy sometimes, man. It is what it is, man. He got that grit, though. He couldn't beat the top. Well, he beat Rampage and beat Shogun. Well, Shogun knocked him out. Silver did him dirty. But like, comment, subscribe, man. Let me know in the comments y'all want me to react to next. And I'm gonna see y'all next one, man. No cow.